Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Trader with me, Bring It On. Let's take care of some housekeeping, starting with Heinrich's.
To what do I owe this visit? The cult's ordinary. As for those at the top, as you wish.
So we can't talk about what happened. Let's check in with Pasqal.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Have you studied Dementz's neural-augmetic yet?
I have destroyed it.
Pasqal stares at you inscrutably and says in a soft voice. A slight telltale rattle in Pascal's voice makes him sound unconvincing. You're lying.
This statement is true. I am yet to settle into a definitive course of action. I am running a spot diagnostic on the memory of the heretic Dementz. Even though purity protocols stipulate that his blasphemous knowledge must be eradicated, I am not drawn toward forbidden information, but only to data concerning the blessed Amonats.
A sigh-like sound comes from the Vox synthesizer. Have you found out anything?
The success has been partial. Dementz Haneman's identity has been confirmed. The widespread influence of paranoid motivations is observable in his cognitive processes, which is what seems to have caused him to break his vows. However, extensive regions of his memory have been damaged by forbidden technologies and are, for now, defying decryption.
What corrupted Dementz?
An echo of the warp. Energies of the immaterium that had seeped into real space and taken the shape of a Vox signal. I have found recorded cases of similarly induced corruption in the archive. Listening to the void is a perilous occupation.
But you did want to know what he knew. You were interested.
The quest for knowledge is our mission of highest priority. But what Dementz promised was not knowledge, but a distorted copy of it. This was not what the Deus Mechanicus had told us to seek.
Pascal's voice grows heavier and gloomier. Any information on Archmagos Emranat?
The data discovered is unreadable. It is encrypted, albeit only partially, and I hypothesize that the heretic Dementz was attempting to decrypt it. I will take every effort to extract a larger volume of data. Information pointing to the unit referred to as the maimed hunter is alleged to be of critical significance.
You fear knowledge, even as you extol it.
Whether knowledge can be profane is the grand question. Lay people find comfort in the delusion that knowledge is merely information. That, in and of itself, it is harmless, and only turns dangerous when it falls into the hands of the wicked.
Pascal's voice turns metallic. His mechadendrites begin a fluid dance around his lean figure, coiling mysteriously.
My apologies. 90% of my processing power is engaged in the analysis of my tech comrade's memory. My response time may be longer than usual.
That isn't what this says. But that is not what I have seen. I have seen knowledge gnaw away at the minds of those who let it inside them. Yet I seek it regardless. Why? Perhaps because there really is no apostasy in knowledge. Is it dangerous? Yes, but not forbidden, or is created by the Omnissiah. So we could go with option 1 or 2, and those would both be in character. I don't think that my character would be inclined to convert a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus to worship the Emperor, because they oftentimes worship the Emperor as the Omnissiah. So maybe option 2. We'll just lean into the ignorant side of things. Not all knowledge comes from the Omnissiah. Some is rooted in evil, and is nothing but a threat to humanity.
There is a threat in everything. A las gun once exploded in its owner's hands for the first time. A cyclonic torpedo once fell on a virtuous world for the first time. Heresy was once uttered in the sacred binaric language for the first time. No thing of great power is ever safe. But not all that is dangerous is evil. Few will dare say it in so many words. But some of our knowledge was obtained from corrupted sources. By studying the creations of Xenos, we grasp profound secrets of the universe that they had discovered and we had not. By pondering heresies, we devised technological solutions to exterminate them. We drew knowledge from a poisoned well, filtered it, and attained comprehension.
The tech priest lowers his head pensively. The mechadendrites slow down smoothly, and the steely overtones disappear from Pasqal's voice. Continue your research.
Response: affirmative. The decryption will continue with diligence and caution. May your labors be effective and fruitful.
Alright, let's go check in with this cogitator next. We found one of the stashes. The tech priest greets you with a bow. His gaze is drawn to one of the cogitator's vid screens. Your lordship, the great mechanism has sensed your presence. The blinking screen displays the following. Input data acquired, nom OS stat check comply. Nom OS Valancius, ALG.621458. Nom operating system task success, ALG.854126. Point at the text. And what is that supposed to mean? Screen blinks, and a new entry appears in place of the previous one. Input prompt. Nom OS ALG.52136. The machine spirit has recognized the one who stands before it. The previous string of sacred code signified a greeting as well as acknowledgement. You have successfully completed a certain task. Now the great mechanism stands ready to process your request. What task? The answer lies beyond the bounds of my knowledge. The tech priest looks back at the cogitator. My supposition is that it might have something to do with your recent travels. The vid screen flickers repeatedly and updates the text. Input prompt, nom OS await request, ALG.52137. Sense my presence. How? This mechanism was molded in the forges of the Adeptus Mechanicus so that it might serve the rogue trader. It was in your presence that its machine spirit first manifested itself. A miracle of the Omnissiah, and a testament to his glory. Enough of this. I wish to inquire about something else. The tech priest bows. Hand the Kiaba Gamma data bank to the tech priest. Access the data from Kiaba Gamma. The tech priest connects the data slate to the cogitator's drive with such care, as if he is holding the greatest of treasures. The servo motors hum as they begin to stir, and lines of text on the vid screen swiftly replace one another. Input patcomp nom OS stab true, a stat check initiation, a nom OS ump, incident status initiated, data reg 5211486622. The Great Mechanism has transformed the secret data into a format that you can comprehend without the assistance of a servant of the Omnissiah. The Tech Priest retrieves the data slate from the heart of the cogitator, holding it with both hands, and passes it to you. Was it this? Preliminary report N4-073. Reporter Unit Q59 /0 Research Group. Subject of study: active samples of the terrible disease, assigned name Techlight. Effect: the Techlight is capable of corroding matter and destroying it from within at a terrifying speed. This deadly plague infects mechanisms as well as any metals and other materials used as their basis. No technology known to the Crimson Priesthood, neither gifts from the Great Omnissiah nor heretical products of Xenos, can withstand this onslaught. The disease poisons and warps the very essence and taints the code of sacred mechanisms. Observations: the Techlight triggers an effect that is repulsive at its core. It transforms metals into horrific forms of unpredictable nature. During testing, it demonstrated the ability to fuse solid matter with organic objects, creating something new as a result. The phenomenon was assigned the name tech splicing. Method of transportation: ceramic capsules. Burnt clay is the only thing that can contain the pestilence. Extra caution must be taken given the container's fragility. Any damage might result in an uncontrolled outbreak. Damaging the containers is unacceptable. Current stage: test to subjugate the Tech Blight to his will and turn it into a weapon subject to the Omnissiah's wisdom. Test result assessment: success. Note: the test triggered an event recorded under the name incident N872-04. The quest for knowledge in his name will continue. Hypothesis 1. The Tech Blight was created in the darkness of unknown worlds, away from the eye of the great creator. Hypothesis 2. Any taint that exists to harm the machine god's creations can and will be bent to his will. My characteristic and a skill for Ecclesiastical. Go with Ballistic here. And Lore Xenos. Let's go do Killing Edge. The assassin attacks and grants plus 40% dodge to the target for this attack. If this attack hits, it deals additional damage, based off lethality. If this attack hits an opening, its additional damage is increased by lethality percent. Cassia, skill and a characteristic. Equation there, and perception. An ability and a common talent. There are a ton of options. And she has a ton of great options. So, Strange Vitality, there's another talent that worked well with. Yeah, let's do Blood Augury. Enemies damaged by the Navigator suffer percent additional damage from warp damage. The bonus damage stacks for each hit. Oh, Fervor. That's what pairs well with the health regen. Let's go ahead and just grab that combo real quick. So Strange Vitality. The Navigator heals 10 wounds at the beginning of every turn and gains +1 additional wound for every Navigator talent taken. Healing increases by +1 for every creature killed in between the Navigator's turns. Then we grab Fervor. The Master Tactician suffers direct damage equal to 20% of their maximum wounds, gains Master Tactician's Resolve stacks of tactical advantage, and resets the cooldown of Linchpin, Inspire, and Strongpoint. Till the end of the Master Tactician's turn, these abilities can only target the Master Tactician themselves. Not sure if that's the right call or not, but that's what I'm going to go with. Oh, I want to trade as well before we set out. Because we picked up a lot of stuff in that dungeon. I think what we'll do next is try to go to that southeastern node, where it says to the Imperium, and see what that does. I'm guessing the game won't let you actually return to the Imperium from the Cronus Expanse. I'm guessing either a warp storm will be in the way, or the warp will just be too turbulent. Or maybe we're just too far away from the Astronomicon, which is a psychic beacon located on Terra. It basically acts as a lighthouse for ships in the warp. It's powered by thousands and thousands of Psykers. And it's usually seen as like a golden light in the warp. Alright, what did they want? Heretic trophies. We have a ways to go. I return to Footfall and turn in some of my planets. We might have enough to actually hit 50. Get these Commissar boots. They also like Xeno artifacts. Don't have any of those for them. Anything for you? Alright, Sunhammer Lance Battery. We have that already, right? Medium range lance weapon dealing from 60 to 70 damage to a chosen enemy within a wide firing arc. Maybe not, because it's saying that goes on. No, we have a Mazoa lance weapon. So this is an upgrade. Cool. And Fortis pattern torpedo tubes. Torpedo tubes capable of firing 4 short burning plasma torpedoes with 19 damage warheads. The short burning, I'm assuming, means they have less time before they self-destruct. And the Griffin pattern seems better. Alright, let's check in with the Drusians. Let's get everything that we have. Oh, they don't care for ranged weaponry. I'm still hesitant to give up any unique stuff, even if I know I'm not going to use a lot of it. Alright, so next up, Footfall, which is fairly close to the Imperium node. I think that'll work out. If we just make a jump all the way over there. A little combat never hurt anybody. I've already read that, so let's jump into the fray. stretch our legs a bit. Gotta stay limbered up in case you come across more enemies of humanity.
Just a minor setback.
Rise to the top, or get left in the dust. Every last one of you.
Rejoice! Slaughter awaits!
On it.
Running binaric override. The spiritual prognosis is favorable.
Don't get too cocky. You've got a problem, I've got a price.
Alright, take care of them. Nice, I hit both of them too.
Brace yourself, Abelard.
Yeah, not super excited about being clustered up like this, but it's best for my opening move. I should have spread out. So we have all those movement points, I think from Abelard, right? We look at his stuff. We took... There's an upgrade to... Oh, where's it at? There's an upgrade to Wall of Rockcrete, I thought. Where when we use that... It gives everyone movement points. But maybe not. It's a pretty nasty hit. Don't worry, I'm gonna get my turn soon, and then you guys are screwed. Don't you guys worry.
Faith without deeds is worthless. Doubt is for the weak.
All the movement stuff over here.
As the Emperor commands, I act.
So they're immune to burning, aren't they? We have this bolter, so we'll be okay.
Each strike is a prayer.
Focus, Baron Callox. Focus.
Focus indeed.
protects your enemies.
Wait, what was that? Well, Cassia's getting her health back. She's not even in our party. That's right, he does the toxic damage with his attacks. I did forget about that.
It's as good as done. I'll make it happen.
Oh, my ears are ringing. At your beck and call.
Consider this a taste of what's to come.
I will do my duty.
Alright, I mean, I'll take that.
Damage is negligible.
Tried to use that earlier.
Tell me.
Let's move this
and
up
it is
and
done.
move Abelard up with it, I think. Let's just have defensive stance up, right? Yeah.
The enemies of the Emperor will be undone! This is why I was chosen! I'll do it.
For the throne's glory. But of course,
I see with purpose.
Alright. Messed up there with the Psyker abilities, but that's okay. Got two of my companions.
Who if not me?
I mean, as long as the Abelard's up, I mean, we're not going to lose the Abelard regardless. %30 chance? Yeah, well, do what you can.
I refuse.
Jai Hidari. Remember the name. I can do that, with the right incentive.
Get it behind cover.
At your beck and call.
Gonna throw out all of our buffs. I mean, there's no way he goes down. Ever. He's way too tanky. Oh, I didn't use defense. Oh, did I use defensive stance? I guess I did.
Keep your wits about you.
I didn't consider him swapping to a melee weapon and trying to attack. But it all worked out, so... Huzzah! Kavagama has started something. I bring woeful news, Lord Captain. Prelate Hectarchius of the Order of the Hammer has passed away. Immediately after the launch of the Orbital Voxspire, he entered the halls of recording and, having sat on the command throne, was granted a vision. For over 3 days, Prelate Hectarchius preached about Saint Cognatius being reincarnated in a body made from the saint's own holy relics. This spiritual feat depleted Prelate Hectarchius' strength, and he peacefully departed for the Emperor's throne shortly after the sermon's conclusion. The Order's elders believe this to be a sign that Saint Cognatius' relics, currently stored on planets throughout the expanse, must be brought together. The Order is preparing for the election of a new prelate, under whose guidance it will undertake this holy mission. The majority of the votes are divided between Prioress Lugnalia, well known for her fervor, and the merciful Celarer? Icon? The minority of the Order sees the Oikonomos Nigmus, a humble and reasonable man, as their prelate. Does Prelate Hectarchius' death not strike you as odd? I'm afraid it does not. The esteemed Hectarchius began his service as a battle missionary, and has long grown weary of the peaceful life befitting a man of his status. He yearned for a worthy spiritual feat, and when presented with the chance to serve as the voice of a saint, he gave what little strength remained. When he died, he was exhausted but content. How does the Order intend to carry out Saint Cognatius' mission? The Conclave aims to procure all the relics that once belonged to Saint Cognatius, all that can possibly be procured. Given that the saint is a legendary figure, many times in the Cronus Expanse have an alleged connection to him. Many items, not times. However, it seems unlikely that any of the relics' owners would be eager to part with them. The answer to the question of how the Order of the Hammer is going to retrieve them depends on the identity of its next prelate. So I guess that explains how we get the hammer in that one project. The previous owner died. I think it belonged to Hectarchius. I wish to know more about the candidates. A Prioress Lugnalia was converted by Hectarchius on one of the heathen worlds. She then served as his bodyguard for many years, and eventually became the protector of the Order's reliquary and the leader of its military branch. As for Brother Tychon, he is an aristocrat by birth. He had an excellent education, and could have lived in luxury had he not renounced secular life for the sake of aesthetic vows. He is intelligent, thoughtful, well-read, and most importantly, genuinely merciful. Few things can be said about the Oikonomos Nigmus. He has never been famous for his prowess in battle or his sermons, but the monastery has never wanted for anything on his watch. He is a most reasonable and unobtrusive individual. What will my companion say? I have sympathy for Prioress Lugnalia. Let her meet with Reverend Hieronymus on Footfall. Should he accept her as a worthy leader, we ought to support her. Brother Tychon. He and I have met, back when he was called Tychon Drivestem. He wasn't a monk back then. He was a grandson and heir to Urband, governor of Dargonus. An honorable young man with a spark in his eyes. His ascension would mean much to the Drivestems. Yeah, I was going to go with Lugnalia anyway. Let Lugnalia meet with Hieronymus de la Rosso. If he approves of her candidature, we will support her. His Holiness will see the truth. Reverend Hieronymus arrived on Foulstone and met with the Prioress. After a confession and a philosophical discussion in private, he acknowledged Lugnalia as being worthy of a high ecclesiastical station and guaranteed her the support of the cult of St. Drusus. Prioress Lugnalia has been chosen as the prelate of the Order of the Hammer. A faithful militia is taking up arms to stake their claim to St. Cognatius' relics. The neighboring worlds look upon Foulstone with worry and fear, just as they do upon its patron, the rogue trader. Alright, so we can't do any of these right now. All those are blocked. Are we still working on the previous... No. Wait on Profit Factor. Bonfires of Righteousness, which she didn't do, and People. This one needs People. Alright, so we still just wait on stuff for that now. Fair enough. Alright, I'm gonna call it here, and next time we'll take care of the other projects on our planets. We'll go to... not Foulstone, Footfall. To check in with the Tech Priest there, try and get some more Profit Factor. Ideally 3. And then we'll see about going to the Imperium. We've got a plan for next time. It should keep us fairly busy. We still have plenty of systems to explore to the north and like northeast, so we're not wanting for stuff to do. Either way, for now, thanks for watching. Hope to see you guys in the next one.